Hello everyone. Today we're going to make some kefir. Quick and easy style. Great Russian beverage, so we're going to make it Russian style. So the items we have are going to be easy to get these at any dollar store. Plastic bowl, plastic sieve, Betty Crocker spatula, baggies with mason ring. You can use any size mason jar you like. And we have here a style of fermentation lid that's made by Ball. It's got a little flapper to let out the gases, but you could easily use just a ring with a simple baggie. Works great. You could just tie it on there and get the cheapest ones you can find. Super easy to clean that way. You can also get lids like this that you can pour it out of afterwards. And they also have these handy ventilation for fermentation style lids. You can get in kits like this. But this is what I use. This one's super easy to clean. And this one's super easy to pour with, so that's what I use. Easy is good. So this has been fermenting for probably 2 or 3 days. If you go longer, it's going to be more sour. If you wait a day or so, it's going to be a little creamier and not so tangy, but we like tangy. So usually when I run it through the sieve, I give it a good stir, loosens everything up nicely. Should do it. And into the bowl and sieve. Nice and easy. It's not completely cleaned out, but the way I do it, it doesn't matter. I use this to put the just freshly made kefir back into after it's strained. That keeps the washing down to a minimum. And so now I quickly go through and strain the kefir. If you use less grains in an amount like this, like a couple tablespoons, it's going to take a little while longer to ferment, that's all. If you use more grains, it'll ferment a lot more quickly. It could easily over ferment, which is not a big deal. It's going to be more sour. You'll have more of a separation with the whey. The whey is the liquid at the bottom, and the top will be a little bit less creamy. But if you use a smaller amount of grains, often you will end up with a little bit creamier of a kefir. So this is all separated, and you can kind of see what I have left. So to get all the goodness off the bottom of the strainer, I usually give it a couple taps like that and it falls through. Brand new clean jar. So I usually rotate the jars. This way I don't have to wash when I'm actually making the kefir. I have jars ready to go. So that's actually plenty for the amount of grains. But I don't feel like bagging them up and freezing them, so we're going to put them all into this batch. It doesn't have to be exact. That's more than enough. You could put 3 or 4 times that in there if you wanted. It's just going to ferment a little quicker. And this is all done here. Give it a little, knock. Could I have a cutting board to put this on? Neat. I usually put this in the sink and let it drip in the sink, but we'll just use the cutting board today. And I usually do this in the sink too. So this is the finished kefir, and it's going to go in the jar I just poured it out of. Now that it's strained, I like these cheap bowls because I can kind of squish them in a little bit, and it makes a nice little funnel. And then back into the jar, nice and easy. And I give it a little scrape with the Betty Crocker spatula, or sometimes we call them pot lickers. Yeah, something like that is good, pretty clean. And so now that this is all strained out, I'll put this jar, it's a fresh jar of kefir, into the fridge. This is a jar of kefir I just took out of the fridge. I will wash this lid before I put it on here, and then it keeps it nice and clean. If I don't have an extra lid, I could always just use a loose ring and a brand new fresh baggie. And that way, if it does build up pressure, it won't blow the jar up. I've never had a jar blow up, but I've had it so that it's been under a lot of pressure and it actually goes fizzy, which actually tastes not too bad as well. So, but you have to be careful when it's pressurized for sure. And so this is the new jar, and this will be the lid that I'll use again. And now I need some fresh milk. Be back in 1 sec. Out of milk. Okay, so have to go get more milk, but in the meanwhile, we'll just fill up the bottom so it'll keep it going. And I usually use organic milk, 3%, for the creamier kefir. So if I had more milk, I would fill it up to this very top line only, because by the time it separates a bit and it ferments, sometimes even if I go down to this line, it'll work its way very close to the top. If you go over this line, it'll often blow out through the ventilation here, so that's the safe mark with this size jar. So then I will put this lid back on, and because I don't have milk at the moment, I will just put this in the fridge as well. So I'll finish off by having a glass of kefir and showcasing my Russian backdrop and na здоровье.
На здоровье.
Очень вкусно.
Вкусно.
Пока-пока.